On today's episode of the franchise, Friday, June 2nd, NBA Finals Game 1 recap. Nuggets take Game 1 at home of the NBA Finals. Going to go recap that game. And then my MLB Team of the Month for the month of May. The best players at basically each position in the month of May. Before we get into the episode, as always, you can watch or listen to the franchise on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music. You can also find the TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter in the description of every single episode. So let's begin here with Game 1 of the NBA Finals. The Nuggets take Game 1 at home, winning this game by a final score of 104-93. Beginning with the box score, Miami. Bam Adebayo, 26 points, 13 rebounds in this game. Finally had a great game in this postseason, at least offensively, for Bam. 13 for 25 shooting in this game for him. Gabe Vincent with 19 points, 7 for 14 shooting, 5 for 10 from 3. How about Haywood Highsmith with 18 points off the bench? Jimmy Butler with a very disappointing performance once again in this postseason. 13 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, shot 6 for 14. Miami shot 33% from a three in this game. And how about their free throw shooting? Miami shot 2 free throws this entire game. They made both of them. But they only attempted 2 free throws this entire game, which breaks the record for fewest in playoff history. That is the fewest made and fewest attempted in NBA playoff history. For Denver, Jokic had a 27-point triple-double with 14 assists and 10 rebounds in this game. Jamal Murray, 26 points, 10 assists. Aaron Gordon with 16, 6. Michael Porter Jr. with 14 points and 13 rebounds as well. Denver shot 29% from 3. 16 for 20 from the free throw line. So 18 more free throws attempted for Denver in this game. And I want to start there. I think, first of all, Miami not getting in, not forcing fouls on Denver is part of the reason that they lost this game. When your opponent shoots 20 free throws, that's 20 opportunities to get 2 easy buckets. It's going to be very hard for you to win or to stay in the game, especially when you are not getting at your team's not getting to the free throw line, right? And that also starts with Miami not challenging Jokic and Denver in the paint, and that's something that they need to address going forward. They need Bam. Bam had 26 points, but none of those really were attacking Jokic down low in the paint or attacking Aaron Gordon if he's in the paint, or not just getting to the basket, trying to draw a foul, and trying to create contact, which is nothing. Like, Miami didn't do that at all. That's why they only shot 2 free throws in this game. So Bam needs to go and get more physical down low. Try to get Jokic in foul trouble. If you can get Jokic in foul trouble, and then you have to have maybe DeAndre Jordan comes in, or some of the other big men for Denver who are not at the level of Nikola Jokic, you're gonna have a much better time if you're Miami trying to get to the free throw line and score the basketball. And Jimmy Butler, he needs to hit more shots, obviously. I mean, 13 points, only shooting 6 for 14 in this game. It's not going to get it done. And, Bam having this great game, this is kind of a waste for Miami. Jimmy, every single game needs to be at the highest level. That's the only way Miami is really going to win against this Denver team with such a high-powered offense. Denver led by 24 points at one point in this game. Miami cut it close a little bit in the fourth quarter. They started off with an 11-0 run to cut it to 84-63, and then they got it within 9 points at the 2:34 mark. But then they just couldn't create stops. They couldn't hit shots when they needed to. A very inconsistent night there for the Miami Heat. And Aaron Gordon guarding Jimmy Butler periodically throughout this game, he did great. Aaron Gordon's a very underrated key piece to this Denver team, offensively and defensively. Offensively, he had 16 points in this game, shot 7 for 10 from the field. And then defensively, he's one of the only guys on this Denver team that has the size and the quickness to keep up with Jimmy Butler and what he's trying to do offensively. You could blame, the altitude in Denver as the reason why Miami struggled, right? They just came from Miami, and then they came from Boston. And now they're going to Denver, which is the highest altitude in the entire NBA. But by Saturday or by Sunday, game 2, Miami should be completely adjusted to the altitude in Denver. So at that point, it doesn't even become an excuse. anymore. I mean, it's only one game, right? You don't need to completely overreact. I still think Nuggets in five. I mean, I thought the Nuggets would win game one, and they did. Denver's just their star power. It doesn't. Miami's star power does not match up to what Denver has. With Jokic, Murray, and then Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, KCP. The Denver didn't even utilize all of their bench players in this game, which is a scary thing if you're Miami. The good thing for them, for the Heat, is you didn't play Kevin Love, which is a very interesting decision. And you will most likely be getting Tyler Hero back potentially game two on Sunday, which will allow you to have more offensive shooting, versatility, and allow you to move the basketball around and take some pressure off of some other guys on your team. Denver's gonna have to really spread out more defensively. One of the things leading into this series that was of question was Miami's size compared to Denver's size, right? Jokic versus Bam. You can't play Bam on Jokic because if Bam gets into foul trouble early, you're screwed, right? And then Bam, he's a 6'9" center, I believe. Jokic, what is he, 6'11", 7 foot? That's a very big height difference down low in the paint. And then, Bam doesn't even attack the paint, and he's not tremendous defensively, especially against a guy like Jokic, who's arguably the best offensive player in the NBA. That's why, for Miami, they had to play Cody Zeller at points in this game. I think they need to put Kevin Love out there. I know he's, not going to be great defensively against Jokic, but Kevin Love should have played in this game, right? He provides shooting, some spacing. I don't know why Kevin Love didn't start or did not start, but why he didn't touch the floor in this game for the Heat. So going into game two, Miami needs to be more aggressive in the paint. They need to attack the rim. They need to get fouls. They need to get to the free throw line. And then obviously Jimmy Butler needs to have a better performance in this game. And then Denver, they just need to keep doing what they're doing. They need to lock down defensively, and then they need to be the best offensive team in the game. And as long as Jokic puts up a triple-double, which seems like he's going to do every single game, and you get the contributions from Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., I think I think Denver will be pretty set up to win every single game in this series. And the way, if they play like this, I don't see how they lose a single game in this series. I mean, if Denver keeps playing the way they are playing, Miami has no shot to win a game. But giving Miami some benefit of the doubt here that they will improve, that they will turn some things around, I still think they could steal one game. If you're Miami, you need to win game two on Sunday in Denver to really flip this series and make it, obviously it'd be a tie 1-1 series, but really shift the momentum going back home to your home floor in Miami compared to it being a potential 2-0 deficit going back to Miami. Miami needs to win game two on Sunday. If you're Denver, just keep playing the way you've played all postseason long. And then I think ultimately the NBA championship is theirs to lose at this point. Real quick, Frank Vogel, hired by the Phoenix Suns as their new head coach, 5-year, $31 million deal. Remember, he was the Lakers head coach, won the 2020 title with them. He also coached the Pacers and the Magic. I never really understood why the Lakers fired him last season. I don't think any of the struggles, in that 2021-22 season with the Lakers was of his fault. It was really the Russell Westbrook and the roster surrounding that Lakers squad. I do like Frank Vogel going there with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and then we'll see what they do with Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton this offseason. All right, finally, my MLB Team of the Month for the month of May. I could not find my April team, so I have no idea really who is returning from April to May, but we have every position in the infield, in the outfield here, so catcher, first, second, third, short, 3 outfield spots, a DH, starting pitcher, relief pitcher, and then I added a utility position, because there's some guys that play like a multitude of positions, and it's kind of hard to anchor them to just one spot. So starting here with the catching position, I have Sean Murphy. Month of May, 5 homers, 313 average, 22 RBIs, and a 530 slugging. He's on that Braves team. I think they're first place in the National League East right now. They're playing some tremendous baseball. Obviously, I mean, that Braves team has a lot of star power on that offensive side as well. With Ronald Acuna Jr. going on an MVP campaign right now. Michael Harris the second came back. Ozuna has been playing tremendous in the past month. Matt Olson, Austin Riley has had a great past few weeks. Ozzy Albies, and then Sean Murphy is getting, I think he's not getting enough recognition for how good he has been so far this season, not just in the month of May, but in the month of April too, and the whole year so far in this MLB season. He has been tremendous, and he provides, the greatest defense at that catcher position in all of baseball. So Sean Murphy, I do believe he is returning from the month of April to the month of May. First base is Freddie Freeman. 5 homers with a 390 average, a 1.141 OPS, and 25 RBIs this month for the Dodgers. He is a hit machine. All he does is hit the ball and get on base. I think it's pretty clear, in my opinion, that he is the best first baseman in the game. I know before the season I had Paul Goldschmidt taking that crown, but that's only because Goldie won the MVP last season. I do think Freddie Freeman is a better hitter. Goldie might have more pop at some moments. I think Freddie Freeman, his ability to put the ball to all fields, get on base, and then still has power, ranks him as the best first baseman in baseball, in my opinion. And over the last month, he has been tremendous for the Dodgers. And I mean, they're a first place team. They're a top 5 team in baseball. They have been playing some amazing ball over the last month. Second baseman, I do believe he is also returning from last month. I might be wrong. That is Marcus Semien. 3 homers in the month of May with a 313 average, 392 on base, and an 898 OPS. He had a 20-game hitting streak. I don't know if it's still active, but he had a 20-game hitting streak at one point this season. He is really one of the reasons why this Rangers team is first place in the AL West. And in my opinion, according to my most recent power rankings that I did on Monday, I have the Rangers as the second best team in baseball. They have great pitching with, DeGrom, Gray, Evaldi, who sneak peek. We'll talk about him later. But this offense for the Rangers is really being led by Marcus Semien. Obviously, they got Corey Seager, Adolis Garcia. Great start to the season for him. Nathaniel Lowe at the first base position. Jonah Heim behind the plate. But Marcus Semien has been getting on base. He has been mashing the baseball. And he has been one of the most productive hitters in all of baseball, not just at that second base position. And he is really the reason why the Rangers are in the position they are right now. Third base, Nolan Arenado. He had a horrible start to the season. April was like one of the worst months of Nolan Arenado's entire career. He was striking out. His batting average was in the low 100s. But in the month of May, he completely turned that around with a 7 homer, 290 average, 342 on base, and a 560 slugging with a 902 OPS. Remember, he still provides some of the most elite defense at third base. The Cardinals I still believe they do have the worst record, or one of the worst records in the National League. But they have so much talent on that roster, and it does start with Arenado at the hot corner. He finished third place in MVP voting last season. And it was very weird to see the start to the season he had, in April. That was very unlike Nolan Arenado to hit so low, strike out a lot, not even walk. He wasn't even walking in the month of April, but completely turned it around. And this Cardinals team, they do have a lot of holes. Their pitching staff is horrible. Their bullpen is a mess, and their offense is still really not hitting. I mean, Goldie and Arenado are doing solid. When you look at the rest of this team, they have a lot of issues. But Arenado, if he continues to play like this for the rest of the season, he might be able to lead this Cardinals team, back to where they were last season, which is a division-winning team and a playoff team. So Nolan Arenado, third baseman for the month of May. The shortstop is going to be Bo Bichette once again. I think he was there last month. 5 homers, 350 average, 386 on base, a 542 slugging, and a 928 OPS. He has 42 hits in the month of May. I didn't check, but he probably is still leading the league in hits, or if not, he is definitely in the top 5. He is leading the league. Interesting stat here. Doesn't really mean anything. He is leading Major League Baseball in foul balls this year, he's done that the previous 2 years. He's led the league in hits and foul balls. Bo Bichette is a hit machine. Right, his defense is horrible. He has a negative defensive run saves. His outs above average is in like the lowest percentiles it can be, but his offense is insanely productive. The Blue Jays have been very up and down, over the past month. Um, a lot of losses against some really good teams, not beating some bad teams, and then they've won some of those games as well, won some series too. This Blue Jays team has a lot of talent: Vladdy, Bo Bichette, Matt Chapman, um, George Springer. Bo Bichette is one of the big reasons why this Blue Jays team is going to have success. His ability to get on base, drive in runs, uh, and just put the ball in play is one of the best in the game. All right, three outfielders, not position restricted. That'd be pretty stupid. All right, so my first outfielder, Aaron Judge, 12 homers this month. Aaron Judge is having the exact same start to this season as he did last season through the same amount of games. He has one more homer. He's slugging a little bit higher, but Aaron Judge is basically replicating his 2022 season. And if that's the case, he's going to hit 60 plus homers once again. And I mean, if he stays on this pace, I don't see how he doesn't win a second straight MVP. I know how great Otani's been playing, and I expect Trout to be there at the end of the season. And there's definitely other guys in the American League that are worthy of the MVP conversation. But if Judge keeps playing month to month, how he's been playing to start this season, and especially in this month of May, I don't see how he doesn't win the MVP. Like I said, 12 homers, a 342 average. He has an 882 slugging percentage. That is some people's OPS, and that would be a really good OPS, or a pretty good OPS in the MLB. And his OPS is at a 1.356 OPS. So Aaron Judge is playing elite MVP level baseball in the month of May and so far in this season. Juan Soto is my other outfielder with a 5 homer, 333 average, 632 slugging, a 114 OPS. His on base percentage sits at 482. In the month of April, I think we were kind of talking like Juan Soto is not really being himself. He's walking a lot, but he's not putting the ball in play. He completely flipped the script. Once the calendar turned to May, he's hitting the ball, he's hitting it out of the park, he's putting it in play, and he's obviously getting on base at an elite level for the Padres. Although the Padres have, been horrible this season, offensively and pitching as well, Juan Soto is one of the few bright spots on this Padres team. Riley Green is my third outfielder with a 1.018 OPS, a 439 on base, 3 homers, and a 365 average in the month of May. Look, when Riley Green was a prospect, was in the minors last season before he got called up, all we were talking about with his tools is he's going to be one of the most elite hitters at the MLB level. If he just brings it over, carries it over from the minor leagues with his skill set. You didn't really see it much last season. Rookie year definitely struggled. But in this month of May, you finally were able to see, and he finally displayed what his potential is as an MLB hitter. And that is one of the most elite hitters in the game, right? Only 3 homers, right? Doesn't have a whole lot of pop, at least not yet. But his ability to put the ball in play, get extra base hits, get on base, is a very, very high tool. That was one of the reasons he was, at one point, the second best prospect in Major League Baseball. So the Tigers, if Riley Green keeps playing like this, if hopefully Javi Baez can turn it around since you paid him hundreds of millions of dollars, and if Spencer Torkelson can figure out how to hit the baseball at the plate, potentially the Tigers can start heading in the right direction. DH, Yordan Alvarez, 8 homers, 284 average, 611 slugging with a 1,000 OPS this month for Yordan. First utility guy, Christopher Morel of the Cubs. He was called up this month, and he went on an absolute tear in about the span of 2 weeks. He hit 9 homers this month, a 282 average, and a 1,024 OPS. He's kind of cooled down over the last 2 weeks, hitting in the 100s, and the last week hitting in like the 096 batting average. But in the month of May, coming up from AAA, he has been incredible. He's kind of played all over the place. He's played some second, played some left, center, right, DH. That's why I have him at this utility position. I had to give him credit for what he has been able to do at the plate so far this season with his 9 home runs and just hitting the ball at a very elite level. My starting pitcher, I mentioned him earlier, it is Nathan Eovaldi. 5 games started this season, in the month of May. He's only allowed 4 runs, 9 walks, 31 strikeouts. His ERA this month was a .96. His opponents are hitting 178, and they have a 496 OPS against Evaldi in the month of May. Uh, Along with Marcus Semien, I think Evaldi is one of the reasons the Rangers are in first place. I mean, the Rangers made so many moves and additions to this pitching staff this offseason. Obviously, they brought in Jacob deGrom. I think it was like a 5-year, $175 million. He should be coming back soon. And then they brought in Nathan Evaldi and Andrew Heaney. Andrew Heaney has been amazing. John Gray has been amazing, who they brought over last offseason. But Nathan Evaldi, I think, has been the best pitcher on this staff in the last month. And I think he's been the best pitcher in baseball over the last month. He's not allowed runs. He's not allowed people to get on base. And opponents just cannot hit off of this guy right now. And then finally, my relief pitcher for this month, Alex Diaz. Cincinnati Reds, 8 saves, 20 strikeouts with a .79 ERA. So that's my MLB Team of the Month for the month of May. We'll do one early in July with the Team of the Month for June. That will do it, though, for this episode. Monday, we'll be back. MLB Power Rankings, NBA Final Game 2, reaction and recap. And we still got to get through those NFL positional rankings. Let me know what you think of this episode. Like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram in the description of the episode. And we'll see you guys next week with another episode of the